Thank you, Mr. Chairman Moran, Ranking Member Simpson, for the opportunity to testify before the subcommittee today on an issue that everybody in the House, I think, knows is very important to me, the promotion of arts and culture through the support of the National Endowment for the Arts. Mr. Chairman, it's a pleasure to work with you and Mr. Simpson, and we appreciate all the support that you've given us. And I also want to thank Congressman Todd Plants for joining me in leading the Congressional Caucus in the 111th Congress. Our creative industries have not been immune to the ongoing economic crisis. In fact, they have been particularly hard hit as corporate donations decrease, consumer spending on arts and culture activities dwindle, organizations struggle to maintain their budgets, and arts and humanities funding decline as states struggle to manage their own fiscal challenges. As our nation continues to shift from industrial manufacturing economy to one based on ideas and information, cities and states increasingly recognize that arts and culture are important economic assets. These industries create jobs, attract investment, generate tax revenues, and stimulate local economies through tourism and urban renewal. And that is why both the National Governors Association and the U.S. Conference of Mayors agree that investing in art and culture-related industries provides important economic benefits to local and regional economies. It is also no surprise that America's overall nonprofit arts and culture industry generates $166.2 billion, that's with a B, in economic activity every year. The national impact of this activity is significant. It supports 5.7 million jobs and generates $29.6 billion in government revenue. And gentlemen, it is my belief that we do not invest in anything in the House or in the Congress that brings back that kind of return into the national treasury. Moreover, in the fiscal year 2009, the NEA awarded more than $110 million through almost 2,400 grants reaching all 435 congressional districts. While the NEA's budget represents less than 1% of total arts philanthropy in the United States, the NEA grants have a powerful multiplying effect, and each grant dollar typically generates 7 to 8 times more money in the matching grants. And again, no other federal agency or private organization facilitates the nationwide access to exceptional art to this extent. As you know, NEA's funding was slashed by 40% in 1995 and 96, and we have never recovered from the cuts that were sustained. We appreciate the $10 million increase for the NEA in fiscal year 2009 and the $12.5 million increase in fiscal year 2010. Nevertheless, its invaluable programs remain seriously underfunded, and the agency continues to struggle to meet the growing demand for its popular programs. From the work of nonprofit art agencies to the impact of cultural tourism, the creative sector is important to state economies all across this country. Federal support for America's nonprofit cultural organizations must go on if we hope to continue enjoying the substantial benefits that they bring. In addition to the economic benefits, we must continue to expose our children to the arts. This is essential if we ever hope for them to reach their fullest potential. We know from studies that have been quite surprising to numbers of us, the great benefits of the art, but the exposure to the arts fosters learning, discovery, and achievement in the country. Research has proven that participation in arts education programs stimulates the creative, holistic, subjective, and intuitive portions of the human brain. Now, employers today, both in America and abroad, are looking for creative and dynamic young men and women to fill their rosters. Learning through the arts reinforces crucial academic skills in reading, language arts, and especially math, which is a fascinating thing, the connection between the mind and the keyboard. But just as important, learning through the arts gives young people the skills that they need to analyze and to synthesize information and to solve complex problems. Educating children early and continuously in the arts will prepare them for work in today's innovative and creative post-industrial society. But these benefits are not what ultimately draw people to the arts. People seek experiences with arts for emotional and cognitive stimulation. We know the transformative power of a great book, a painting, or a song. You only have to mention Amazing Grace to me, and I start to blubber. A work of art can evoke extraordinary feelings of captivation, deep involvement, amazement, and wonder. This evocative power is so rare in a world where we tend to grasp things almost exclusively in terms of their relationship to practical needs and purposes. Stimulating this mental and intellectual activity only enhances our creativity and imagination, but also strengthens our ability to empathize with others, deepens our understanding of the human spirit. In today's globalized world, these factors must not be ignored. We cannot assign a price tag to the intrinsic benefits the arts bestow on both individuals and across communities and society as a whole. I know that there are lots of important requests for money before your subcommittee this year, and I know that many federal agencies are struggling to overcome funding shortages. But I'm compelled today to ask that you take into consideration the returns we get on our investment in the arts. American artists share with us a piece of their spirit and their soul with every creation. It is a labor of love for artists, and it brightens the life of each of us, bringing us joy and comfort, enlightenment, and understanding in ways impossible to find otherwise. The arts and artists of America are a national treasure, and we should revere them. They and they alone tell us who we are, who we were, and who we aspire to be. This great nation needs, deserves, and must support art, as do other nations around the globe. Again, I thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today and urge you to continue the support for the NEA funding.